Oh, it's you. Oh, it's me. Oh, it's both of us together. And oh, I have not lost my mind. I'm just having a little fun. Is that okay? Don't tell anyone, because my name is, do you know it by now? You better. Robert Landau. And who am I? Well, that's a loaded question. But in this guise, I am your one and only Live Life Well TV host. And this gathering today has everything to do with fun, education, and joy. And it's in the name of this trivia program that happens here every week called True or False. All you got to do is sit back, relax, take in the air of the moment, and let me know if the following trivial facts that I have assembled for you for this episode happen to be true or false. Oh, you guys are so smart. I love it. True or false, everybody? Superman Clark Kent worked for the Daily World newspaper. True or false? Superman Clark Kent worked for the Daily World newspaper. That happens to be false, and you probably know why. And if you don't, Superman Clark Kent worked for the Daily Planet newspaper. Next up is this. In music terminology, the word presto means quickly. In music terminology, particularly classical music terminology, the word presto means quickly. That happens to be true. Don't know if you've ever seen a classical music score, whether it's to chamber music, a symphony, a ballet, or an opera, but if the composer wanted the music to move along fast in that part of the work, he or she would write, it's always in Italian, whether they were Italian or not, presto, presto, which means, come on, let's pick it up here. And I know you want to say that to me too. Presto, Robert, for God's sake, move along. So, I hear you, calm down. Here's the next true or false for your consideration. An ornithologist is interested in earthquakes. An ornithologist, and that is spelled O-R-N-I-T-H-O-L-O-G-I-S-T. An ornithologist is interested in earthquakes. Did you like my earthquake impression? I did that for you at no extra charge. The answer to that question happens to be what? True or false? The answer is false, and here's why. An ornithologist, as you may or may not know, is interested in birds. Birds. Yeah. What did you think of my bird impression? I worked on it for hours for you. You didn't like it? I guess it's back to the drawing board. But here, in the meantime, is the next true or false question. The Iron Age preceded the Bronze Age. The Iron Age preceded the Bronze Age. True or false? What do you think? The answer happens to be false. The Iron Age followed the Bronze Age. Next up, the Suez Canal connects the Mediterranean with the Red Sea. The Suez Canal connects the Mediterranean with the Red Sea. What do you think? Think carefully. True or false? The answer is true. The answer is true. Next up, mohair comes from sheep. True or false? Mohair comes from sheep. False, false. Mohair comes from, anybody know? Little louder, please. A little louder. I ain't sitting in that room with ya. Mohair comes from goats. Mohair comes from goats. Here we go with the next true or false. See if you can get this one. The Roman numeral M, as in Mary, stands for the number 1000. The Roman numeral M stands for the number 1000. True or false? True, true. Good job. Next up, a cygnet, C-Y-G-N-E-T, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Cygnet is the young of a swan. A C-Y-G-N-E-T, cygnet, is the young of a swan. True or false? What do you think? True, true. Next up is this for you. A fedora is a type of shoe. A fedora is a type of a shoe. I think you got that one. Just like to throw in some easy ones every so often, but if you didn't know, of course, that is false. A fedora is a type of hat with a soft brim and indented crown. It is typically creased lengthwise down the crown and pinched near the front on both sides. Fedoras can also be creased with teardrop crowns, diamond crowns, center dents, and others, and the positioning of the pinches, can vary. Next up, see, when I wear these crazy jackets every episode, they really get to me. I'm not like this when I don't wear a jacket. Believe me, trust me. I'm a very quiet, calm guy when I'm not wearing a crazy jacket. Maybe one of these days I'll wear a calm jacket and you won't even know me because I'll greet you like this. Hi, my name is Robert Landau. Welcome. I'm wearing a calm jacket. No, who wants that? Loud, crazy jackets are the norm for me, and they are for you too. Next up, true or false? Ceylon is the former name of Sri Lanka. Ceylon is the former name of Sri Lanka. True or false? True. In 1948, the British colony of Ceylon was granted independence as Ceylon. In 1972, the country became a republic within the Commonwealth, and its name was changed to Sri Lanka. I used to have very close friends in New York City, where I'm originally from Sri Lanka. They were just wonderful, wonderful people and truly loved their homeland, and the food was amazing. It was kind of like Indian food. Do you like it? Do you like Indian food? I do. As long as it's not too spicy. I'm a delicate, fragile person, and spicy food can sometimes be just too much for me. Anyway, next true or false for you folks. The tibia, T-I-B-I-A, is found in the human leg. The tibia is found in the human leg. True, true. The tibia, in case you didn't know, happens to be a large bone located in the lower front portion of the leg. The tibia is also known as the shin bone and is the second largest bone in the body. There are two bones in the shin area, the tibia and the fibula, you might have heard of that, or calf bone. The fibula is smaller and thinner than the tibula. Tibula, fibula, tibula, fibula, tibula. Everybody, here we go. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what happened to me this week. I think I'm going mad. I'm just having fun, and I hope you are too. Here is the next true or false question. The planet Mars was named after the Roman god of war. The planet Mars was named after the Roman god of war. True or false? True, 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 true. Next up, true or false? Polar bears are found at the South Pole. Polar bears are found at the South Pole. True or false? False, false. Polar bears are found at the North Pole. You got it, you got it. Next up is this. The country once known as Abyssinia is now known as Ethiopia. The country once known as Abyssinia is now known as Ethiopia. True or false? That's true, and here's why. Although Ethiopia was called Abyssinia for a long time and still is in some languages, it was renamed Ethiopia around the 4th century by King Ezana as a new Christian name for a kingdom he was in the process of converting. Next up for your true or false consideration is this little ditty. True or false, the castle in chess is also known as the rook. The castle in chess is also known as the rook. Do we have any chess players out there? Then you know whether this happens to be true or false. It happens to be true, true. The origin of chess is rather interesting. Wanted to take a moment to share that with you in case you're curious. The history of chess can be traced back nearly, get this, 1,500 years. The history of chess can be traced back nearly 1,500 years, although the earliest origins of the game are uncertain. The earliest predecessor of the game probably originated in India before the 6th century AD. From India, the game then spread throughout Persia. I played chess a bit when I was much younger, but I'd love to do it again. I think it's a great game, and it's a great game as an exercise for the mind, too. It's fun. Next up, in a rainbow, purple comes between the colors orange and green. I wonder if anybody has the answer to that one, true or false. In a rainbow, purple comes between the colors orange and green. That happens to be false. Rainbows are formed when light shines through water, like when the sun shines through the rain. The light is bent and reflected like a reflection in a mirror, and this causes all of those amazing rainbow colors that you so often see. Rainbows are made up of all 7 colors that come from light. I love it. I don't know about you, but when I see a rainbow, particularly like a double rainbow, I always think it's good luck. And I always think it's a message from God. And you know what? It usually turns out to be so. When I'm particularly worried about something, I'm concerned about something, I'll walk outside or I'll be driving in the car, and lo and behold, there's this spectacular rainbow. And then I know everything is going to be okay. It's nature, it's the universe, it's God giving me that message to console my heart. I love it. Love it. Here's the next one for you. Pitcairn Island is in the Indian Ocean. Pitcairn Island is in the Indian Ocean. What do you think? That's false. Pitcairn Island is in the Pacific Ocean. The Pitcairn Island chain, officially comprising Pitcairn, Henderson, Ducie, and Onio Islands, are a group of 4 volcanic islands in the southern Pacific Ocean that form the sole British overseas territory in the Pacific Ocean. So we have some more for you before we close. The hardest substance in the human body is bone. True or false? False. The hardest substance in the human body is enamel. Wow. Australia's Great Barrier Reef is made of coral. True or false? Australia's Great Barrier Reef is made of coral. True or false? True, true. The Great Barrier Reef happens to be the world's largest coral reef system, comprising over 2,900 individual reefs and 900 islands, stretching over 1,500 miles over an area of approximately 213,000 square miles. The reef is located in the Coral Sea off the coast of Queensland, Australia. Wow, what an incredible natural wonder of the world. Next up for you, the country of Portugal borders France. The country of Portugal borders France. False, I think you know that. The country of Portugal borders what country starting with an S? Spain. Spain. A Manx cat has no whiskers. True or false? A Manx cat has no whiskers. It happens to be false. A Manx cat has no tail. The Beaufort scale measures wind speed. The Beaufort scale measures wind speed. That happens to be true. The Beaufort scale, developed in 1805 by Sir Francis Beaufort of the UK Royal Navy. Next up, El Al is the official airline of Israel. True or false? I think many of you know that happens to be true. Since its inaugural flight from Geneva to Tel Aviv in September of 1948, the airline has grown to serve no less than, well, actually over 50 destinations, maybe not at the moment, operating scheduled domestic and international services and cargo flights within Israel and to Europe, the Middle East, the Americas, Africa, Australia, and the Far East. From its main base, does anybody know the name of the airport in Israel, in Tel Aviv? Ben Gurion. El Al is the only commercial airline to equip its planes with missile defense systems to protect its planes against surface-to-air missiles, and it is considered one of the most secure airlines in the world, thanks to its stringent security procedures, both on the ground and, of course, on board its aircraft. 2 more! Count them! 2 more trivia questions for you before we close. Oh, I thought we'd never make it. Here's the second to last true or false question for you. True or false? Alaska was sold to the USA by Canada. Alaska was sold to the USA by Canada. I think you know the answer to that. That happens to be false. Alaska was sold to the USA by Russia. The looming U.S. Civil War delayed the sale, but after the war, Secretary of State William Seward quickly took up a renewed Russian offer, and on March 30th, 1867, agreed to a proposal from the Russian minister in Washington to purchase Alaska for $7.2 million. Last question for this episode, at least, goes like this. Annie Bronte wrote Wuthering Heights. Annie Bronte wrote Wuthering Heights. True or false? Probably a book you may or may not have read. The answer happens to be false. Emily Bronte. Her Wuthering Heights was it was first published in London in 1847, appearing as the first two volumes of a 3-volume set. So, with that final question, we bring another astounding, award-winning episode of True or False. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned some things. I did. Check all of those. And here's the last check for you. I truly look forward to seeing you again for next week's episode of True or False. Until then, from my heart to yours, stay well, stay happy, stay free.